Hi everybody, welcome back to Wednesdays with Randall. This week our topic is our role models in our everyday life. For me to consider someone a role model, they had to have actually influenced my life, be a part of my life. I don't really consider celebrities. I'm a very non-political person, so I don't consider politicians a role model or anything like that. I'm not afraid to admit that a goal of my life is to ride around the city of Atlanta in my Range Rover drinking wine out of a coffee tumbler. But I wouldn't say that Kim Zolciak is exactly a role model in my everyday life. Most of my role models, are there because they fought for what they wanted. They didn't let things get in their way. My first one would have to be my mother. She's a very grounded individual. She focuses on real life things. She spent most of her life focusing on our family and developing our family and doing everything that she could to help me and my sisters get ahead and be the best people that we could be. Now that we're grown and off doing our own things, she's focusing on the things that she wanted. Family's very important to me, so I think I get a lot of that from her because she's always really focused on making family first and doing everything that she could to make her family everything that it was. She's really close to her siblings and to her parents and things, and so am I. So I would say that's the biggest thing that my mom has given me is the ability to stay grounded while at the same time focusing on the things that I want and putting family as one of the most important things in my life. I'm a true mama's boy through and through. I owe her a lot of things, but those are probably the biggest things is that she taught me to dream but stay grounded at the same time and really focus to get the things that you want. My second person would be my dad. He's where the dreamer side of me comes in. He's a huge dreamer. Where my mother never expected, to be a millionaire in her lifetime or anything like that. My father would rather just pretend like he is a millionaire and do everything that he can to make his life be that way. And I kind of live the same way now. He has always had an entrepreneurial side to his life, which I do as well. I think that he kind of inspired me to follow those things that I wanted to do. He's never necessarily been the best businessman, but he's also never been afraid to go try and do the things that he wanted to do. Whether he failed or not, he wasn't afraid to try. He wasn't going to not do those things just because. I think I have a lot of that in myself. I'm the kind of person that if I want something, I take the stance as the most that this person can do is tell me no. I'm going to give it a try, and if I get it, then good, and if I don't, then, oh well, I'll try next time. One of the biggest influences in my whole life, one of my biggest role models, is my papa, my grandfather on my mom's side. He came from extremely, poor roots with 10 brothers and sisters in Watertown, Tennessee. He had nothing growing up, they barely could afford to eat and, things like that. And he worked and worked and worked, and he owned restaurants and he managed businesses over the years. He's always been a businessman. He ended up being very well off. He did very well for himself over the years. He taught us, all of us children growing up, you have to work to get the things that you want. He used to manage a Stuckey's in West Tennessee, and he would bring us all there through the summer to stay a week with them, and he would have us, at 10 years old running the cash register and counting out people's change and stuff. He would always tell people, we start them out young around here, and that's true, and that's a big part of my life now, is that I know that, I have to work to get the things that I want. Another big thing that he kind of taught us growing up is reputation is very important. He, in the town that he lived in, and is very well known. He has a good reputation, and he doesn't like to scar that. He doesn't do things that are going to hurt his reputation and things like that. Once he got to a point where he could afford one, he refused to drive anything but a Cadillac. I think it's great that he did that because it shows that he worked hard to get things and that he's not going to give up on that. The next biggest role model would be my grandmother. She had breast cancer when I was really when I was younger, junior high age, and she just passed away a couple of years ago. But she never let that get her down. The biggest thing that she probably gave to me and my sisters is that your appearance is everything. She was like the queen of backhanded compliments, which I absolutely love. Like, oh, you've lost some weight, haven't you? You only have like what, 50 pounds left? And she's great, and I loved it. I remember after she had her breast cancer surgery, she had a mastectomy. She had like shoulder problems, of course, from the surgery, and she had developed a way to prop her arm up on a towel rack to curl the back of her hair. Like, she did not leave the house unless she looked perfect. Nowadays, my appearance to me is extremely important, and I owe every bit of that to her. Like, she would not let you leave the house without your hair combed. She wouldn't, she was great, and I love her. My next one, and my last one, is actually more of a mentor than a role model, and his name is Jeremy. He was my general manager at work up until this year. When I started at the mall, I was a part-time customer service person, and I never expected to go anywhere. And right after I got hired, they brought in a new general manager, which was Jeremy. He didn't have a college degree, and he had started as a janitorial and worked his way up to general manager at another property and moved to our property. As far as my professional career goes, I owe him everything. He fought for what he saw of himself in me and allowed me to grow with this company to where I am now. I'm an assistant general manager, and I love my job. I never thought that I would have a position like this, especially by the age of 24. I see a lot of myself in him, and he saw a lot of himself in me, and allowed me to help grow myself and things in my position. He had to work for everything that he had, and he's a big supporter of that sort of thing. Like, just because you went to college doesn't mean that you should be given a position. You should have to work for it and prove yourself and things. He gave me a lot of that insight into the business. I owe him a lot. So he's probably more of a mentor to me than a role model, but I do see a lot of the path of his life as being the one that I will soon, or that I am currently traveling. So I guess those are my biggest role models. If you have any questions, feel free to comment me. I'd love to hear from you guys. Also, look me up on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. Be sure to subscribe to our different stories and like us on Facebook. Love you guys.